Good morning, Kim. All right, everybody. It is 10 a.m. Good morning. I self-proclaimed Saturdays as Stephanie Saturdays. So here we are. I am going to apologize in advance, you guys. My Pomeranian is in the chair next to me, so she sometimes acts a little needy and might climb right in. So I'm just give you a heads up ahead of time. She's a little demanding sometimes. So today we're going to talk about building your mission statement. And we're just going to kind of go through some really good information and questions, and then the slides are available if you want them afterwards. You'll just email Morgan and we'll make sure you get them. It's some good information. Obviously, we want to thank Square One Small Business Services for letting me be here on Saturday with all of you again. Yay! It's kind of it's what I look forward to through the week. It's pretty, I don't know. I really enjoy it. So I hope you guys get some good information out of it as well. And let's just dive right in. So I had technical difficulties this morning, so Morgan's going to flip my slides for me today. If I try to share them, it'll shut everything down and it'll just be a whole hot mess. So Morgan, if you'll flip the next slide for me, please. Awesome, thank you. So what is a mission statement? So, it's really simply put, it's just a formal summary of the values, your values as a company. Everybody should have a mission statement. You know, it's just, it kind of lets people connect with you, but it also lets it helps with your sales pitch, and it just kind of helps give you guidance and direction for where you want to go. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, guys. Morgan, if you'll flip to the next one. Perfect. A mission statement has 3 parts. Your first part is going to be that the mission, the vision you have for your company. Like Kim, the mission or vision you have for your coffee cakes. Then the second piece is going to be the statement of core values that shape your behavior. You know, some people, you know, depending on what your business is, you know, for me, it's definitely like integrity and honesty in accounting. You know, that's really, really important to me. Those things that shape your behavior are going to be that second piece of your statement. And lastly, it's going to be the goals and objectives of your organization. Maybe you want to deliver the best coffee cake. Maybe you want to deliver affordable service. What are your goals as your organization? Um, so we're going to dive in now to some really key questions that we'll spend some time on this next slide. Morgan, if you'll flip, thank you. So your mission, the mission statement is really, it's one of the most important considerations of your business because it's going to help guide you and drive your business. I read in Forbes, I think is the one that called it your anchor, and it's so true. Like I have my mission statement on the wall. It's on the background of my computer. From just a very personal connection standpoint with all of you, it helps keep me grounded. When I'm having a really crappy day and I'm like, oh, I'm 14 hours in and I'm just like, why do I do this? I remind myself to look at my mission statement. My mission statement for my company is Guardian Accounting Services is committed to helping small business owners by providing support, accounting services, and consulting. Our experts support clients with integrity and honesty to empower them to thrive rather than simply survive. For me, it's all about trying to help people and teach people. If I could empower people, then they have that. When they're empowered, they're their own hero, if you will. And to me, that's really important. So there's questions you want to ask yourself when you're looking at your mission statement. What's your core purpose? Like what's your purpose of your business? For me, obviously accounting, it's your purpose to make services available to people that wouldn't be available. Is your purpose to, let's talk about square one, to serve small business, to really help them become, what we know they can be. What's your core purpose? Why are you in business? Why did you start it? Why did you want to start it? Like for me, I saw a really large group of people underserved. So that's why I went into business, the first small business, because, many small businesses couldn't afford to pay their CPA, $200 to $500 an hour to do their accounting. Many small businesses can't afford to hire a controller at, $70,000 and up a year. That's a huge thing. That's why I started. Who do you serve? Who's your ideal client or customer? Me, again, small business, nonprofit, that's my space. Who do you serve? I'm going to kind of expand on this piece because you guys, I think this is really important. And I hired a business coach, I don't know, like 7 weeks ago, and I had been following her courses and stuff and, doing her online courses. And that one really hit me because she made the statement that if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So you need to know who you serve. That, I thought I knew, whenever I thought, oh, small business, but what small business is, and so that was really important. And what defines a small business? So you really want to think about who you serve. Like at Habitat, when I was the controller there, we served people who, needed that hand up. That was really important that we make sure we give them that, we knew exactly who we wanted to serve. Like I said, it was harder than I expected because I was like, I just want to help everybody. I just want to save the world one small business at a time. But it didn't make sense. And so, you're not an expert in everything, right? So it's really, really important that you take time to figure out who you're going to serve in the space you're in. Kim, I'm going to use you as an example. I love food. I love baked goods. And to me, I'm very Italian. And in my family, if you sneeze, we feed you. I always joke at that, we fatten everybody up so they can't run away. And to me, food is like a comfort. It's like a love language, right? So Kim serves people like me who just that's like if my fiance when she's back open is gonna go make sure I get what I want and get my coffee cakes. Um, so it's knowing who your target is. You know, Magic Johnson said it great this year in the 10x conference that he did with Grant Cardone, and he said that his Starbucks are actually in the urban core. And he had to shift that mindset because he was like, listen, the urban core, we know we will pay, $4 and $5 for coffee, but we don't know what a scone is. So he was like, we flipped it to sweet potato pie and cobbler and things like that. So that's really when you know who you serve, you're going to know your audience. And, he took out the Beethoven and stuff that was playing overhead and put in, the fresher, like hipster kind of music. And it's made a huge difference. He actually makes more in his Starbucks in the urban core than most of them do in the suburbs, which that's pretty powerful, right? So knowing who you serve is really, really, really important. Kim just shared hers with you guys, which is it's again just and I'm gonna flip back to the comments at 10 today because I think this is going to be a really good session for all of us to get to brainstorm, just kind of feed off of one another. And Kim said, the hers, they've never written it down, which in a lot of that's so not uncommon. Kim, please know that most people know like why they want to do it, but they never like formally put it in writing. And she said, we want people to leave happier than when they came to us. They always say there's no judgment in their truck. If you want 12 sugars, cool. You get 12 and they're not going to judge you. If you want half a pump of mocha, cool. Tell us what you want and we'll do our best. That's huge, huge. And I love that. And I love that she's shifting based on where they're at. What pastries are they going to serve with it? What are they going to add? That's really important to know that, and I love that you said that you want people to leave happier than when you got them. That is my personal mission statement, is to leave people better than when I got them, hands down. So I love, love, love that. It's just kind of who I am as my little quirky person. Why do you serve the clients you serve? Why? It's kind of like what drives you, what gets you out of bed with it, why? But usually people find it's something triggered it. Something triggered you to want to do business. Something triggered you to have this specific thing. Maybe you're just phenomenal baker. Maybe, you're me. I was the math nerd as a kid. I didn't go to spelling bees. I went to the math bees. And so when I found this, I was like, this drives me. And whenever my bosses were turning people down because they couldn't afford to pay $300 an hour, that's when I was like, enough is enough. My boss had a private jet. He had these things. I was like, that's it. That's why I serve my clients. Then the next one is kind of interesting because I think you all know this, but it's good to just put it in there. Kim totally touched on it with hers too, is what's the nature of your products and services? The nature of them can be, killer coffee, and I am those people, Kim, that wants like on my coffee. So I love that you won't judge me. So just know the nature of your services, because that's obviously we want to put that in there. Like I said, we'll talk in a minute about how we can use this to leverage kind of sales or whatever, but having that in there in your mission statement does help. What level of service do you provide? Are you an expert? Are you, like just an all-inclusive? I'm going to refer him to Magic Johnson again because he just was such a great speaker in that. And I totally watched it twice this week. But he said, again, know your customer, but he said over deliver. And so what level of service are you providing? For Kim, it's the no judgment. It's killer product and no judgment. That's huge. Isn't that why people love Planet Fitness? Because it's a judgment free zone, right? So it's know that level of service that you're offering. You know, some people it may be we want to offer bookkeeping services. Some people maybe bookkeeping, accounting, controller services. There's different levels of everything we do. So that's going to be really important and to be thinking about that piece. Sorry guys, allergy season's kicking my behind. Here's the part that what are your values? For Kim, it's judgment-free zone, right? For Kim, is that, look, we are here to serve you. We want you happy, and we're not going to judge you. That's a value, right? For me, mine's honesty and integrity, because there's a lot of sketchy people out there, and I just want to make sure that people know when they come with me, they can trust that I'm going to treat them the way I would treat my mom. And my mom's one of my favorite people on this whole planet. So what are your values? I don't think I've ever seen anybody say, hey, I'm sketchy in a mission statement. I don't think anybody's ever said, I'm going to, push numbers or, whatever. So it's definitely, we want to make sure that your values are positive and that, that they're relevant, to you and the services you're providing. Then this one's like one of my all-time favorites. What image do you want to convey? My best example for this, you guys, and this I'm probably oversharing. So when I started in the industry, I was 30, barely 30. I'm not even sure I was 30 yet. But anyways, I was pretty young. And I would go to these conferences. And remember, in our sector, it's not super diverse. And so the majority of the people in these conferences are men now they're over the age of 70. Like a huge percentage of my industry is aging out over the next 5 to 7 years, just because that's how it is, right? I would go to these conferences, tax classes, which if you know me, I don't like tax. I used to love it, but then I found like how I can better serve in accounting. But I would go to these accounting conferences, tax conferences, you name it. And I would be like the youngest person there, which is saying a lot. Even now, I'm still one of the youngest, which is really scary. I would be one of the few women, and I would be one of the only people who's got a huge smile on their face. Let's face it, I'm kind of quirky. I'm always, just living my best life. And I felt, like I was such an outcast, right? But the flip side to that is when I first met a CPA early on, I think I was in my early 20s. I thought they were all like stuffy bean counters and just no personality. Like seriously, I thought they were all personality of a soap dish, just awful. That was my experience up to that point, right? And so what I knew I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that I never conveyed that. I never want to be that stuffy. People are afraid to ask me, snooty, better than them. That's not the image I want to portray. So the image that I want people, there's a reason I have a shield in my logo, because I'm treating you like I treat my family, the people that I love most in this world. And so I care about your business as much as you do. And so for me, that image that I want to convey is quirky, but I'm genuine. I'm real. I'm always going to be real with you. It may not be a comfortable conversation, but it's always going to be real. And that's the image I want to convey to everybody. So it's, in your mission statement, what do you want to convey? That you are honest, that you're trustworthy, that, you have the best coffee on the planet. I really need more coffee, Kim. I'm just saying, if we were neighbors, we'd have to have a tunnel or something so I could have coffee. Um, but so what do you want to convey to your ideal client? Some folks call it your avatar, but what do you want to convey to them? And lastly, what makes you different? What makes you different from your competitors? You know, we'll reference my mission statement a lot just because it's what I have available. But, for me, that is, I want to empower people. I don't want somebody going through the motions. I want to empower them to move at that speed of business, to take their business to the next level, to pivot when things are crummy out in the world, like right now. I want to empower them and them know that their stuff is in a good place so that we can work together and come out ahead. Survival's great, but I want you to thrive. And so to me, that's what sets me apart from my competitors. So that's, I know it's a ton of questions, you guys. That's why I say definitely shoot Morgan an email or Brian, and get that slide. You want the slide deck because these questions, you don't have to know the answers right now. And we'll go through the process here in just a second, kind of the steps. But these questions are really, really powerful. And these questions are going to drive you. If you have 7 answers for your ideal client, okay, no problem. Put it on paper. Let's go through it, and you're going to tweak it. You're probably not going to get it right the first time because you're going to come back to it and be like, oh man, you know what? I can improve this. Because we're all evolving, we're growing, we're changing, we're learning more every single day. What you set in stone today for your mission statement doesn't have to stay. You can tweak it and change it as you grow and scale too. I wish I still remembered habitats because it was so good, but I don't. And they're an example of a mission statement that has truly stayed the same for generations. And we'll go over some examples. I think I've got 3 for you guys of some, just kind of powerful mission statements that we can reference. There's no wrong answer. It's, because at the end of the day, it's your mission statement, but these are some really good questions to get you thinking about it. I keep a little notebook, which I actually left upstairs on the table, but I keep a little notebook of this kind of stuff, and I'm always like, okay, if you pick your ideal client today, 5 years from now, 5 months from now, you're like, I think I want to serve this industry. Totally fine. Just because you pick a niche or just because you pick a client does not mean that you are stuck with that forever. Most of my clients, the ones that are most of my small business clients are in some form of service. It's the industry I know best. They're not manufacturing. They're not. They're more in that service space, whether it be like a food service or personal care or personal services or, construction, real estate. That's my space I play in. But I also have the nonprofit space because that's my whole heart. That's the reality of it. You can have that diverse group. I specialize in that service space. And I have some really large clients for a reason so that I can serve in that nonprofit space that's super, they're more price sensitive. And honestly, you want to make sure that I did it so that I could balance that. So, it's okay to have 2 sectors of ideal client. Again, it can shift, it can change, maybe your ideal client was the baby boomers and now you're shifting it to the Gen Xers. It could be anything. So it's okay. Like I said, it's not permanent. You're not like, that's it, you're done. It's not like that at all, you guys. So let's kind of talk through the steps. Morgan, if you don't mind flipping it, sorry. Thank you. So, your first step, I just encourage you, you'll hear me say it a lot, grab a piece of paper. You'll go through those questions, and just answer them without thinking, like off the top of your head, what's coming first, to each of those questions. Then if you have multiple answers for one, great. Great. You're not pigeonholed, and that's fantastic. So don't feel bad if you can't narrow it down to 2 things. You have 7. No problem. No problem at all. And then, so I encourage you to do this, but then go back to it. Let it sit a day, 2 days, whatever. Go back and revisit those questions. So what you're going to do when you revisit those questions is you can elaborate, you can expand on them. Maybe you only had two customer types, right? But then when you go back to it a couple of days later, because you've planted that seed, right? That's how the brain works. So you planted that seed. So now your brain's going to be kind of subconsciously thinking about it. And as you're going through your day, you're thinking about it. So when you go back in a couple of days, you can expand that. So maybe you can be more explicit with that customer, or maybe you are more explicit with your values, because now you're thinking and kind of stewing on it. That's really powerful. It's not something that most people will do in an hour and be done. It's just not how it works, right? Usually it's more, you do it for an hour, you come back to it again, then you get it in that space that you really want to, where you're like, I feel really good about this, so it's, again, Rome wasn't built in a day, and we can't eat the elephant one bite. We have to take it a spoon at a time. So come back to it and revisit it. I know that sounds like you're like, duh, but it's so important, because I promise you, once you start, in the back of your brain and you're thinking about it, you'll just, maybe you're sitting there reading a book or having your coffee, because I like coffee and quiet in the morning. Maybe you're sitting at the table having your coffee. Let's do it. Your brain's thinking about it. We do have classes for people here in Kansas City through our Square One Small Business Group that can help you identify that target client, that target customer. If you're struggling, or even, honestly, you guys, even if you're not struggling, I would say check it out. And I say that because you don't know what you don't know. So, go sit in the class. What, you've wasted nothing, right? It's anything you do, any time you put into your business and yourself is good time. That's just the way I see it. It's an investment in you and what you're doing. So do check it out. I'll join. If you guys, if you're like, I don't know, call me. I'll go too. Let's do it. Let's just bombard that class, all of us together, and do it. Who knows? We may learn, maybe we hadn't thought about this sector, or again, you don't know what you don't know. It's why we all come together in this community space there with Square One, right? So we get to kind of feed off of one another and learn from one another. So like I said, if anybody's doing it, call me. I'll jump in with you. I would love to. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Morgan, if you want to flip to the next slide, we've got some tips, the good stuff. So besides those questions, you guys, so I want to encourage you, and so I kind of pulled together some of these tips, and I use some good resources. Okay. I went to my Forbes group that I'm a part of. We went to, I go through like the entrepreneur group. I write for Brains Magazine. So I went to my group there and just kind of got some like recurring tips. And I wanted to share with you the stuff that came from different sources that was the repeat, because that's really, really important. Kim, thank you. Kim just said, you guys, that I'm super approachable. And that I've helped her a ton in the 3 weeks. And you're right, 1,000%. There are no stupid questions ever. The stupid question is the one you don't ask. That's the reality of it. I always like my favorite comeback when people are like, Stephanie, I have a question. I always say, I will try to have an answer because I can't guarantee I'll have your answer immediately, but I will find you an answer if I don't know. And I'm so thankful for that right there, Kim. That's why I do what I do. Um, I even tell my kids that sometimes they'll ask me stuff and I'm like, are you sure you want me to answer that? My favorite's when they're like, what do you think of my boyfriend or whatever? I'm like, do you really want me to? I'm going to ask you again. So I ask you, are you sure you want the answer? But I will always answer your questions. So the recurring trend on a lot of the groups that I'm in, right, for their mission statement was just be clear. Be clear with what are you doing? What are you offering? You don't want to muddy it up. You don't want people to have to decipher your mission statement. You want them to be, bam, this is what they do. Bam, I know they have amazing coffee. You want them to know. You don't want them to have to interpret your mission statement. That when they have to spend that energy interpreting it, that's when you lose people, right? I'll give you another great author, is Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. Amazing book. I'm sure they have it at the library. Such a good book, such a good read. And it goes pretty quickly, actually. But that's one of the things that a lot of your major brands will tell you is that don't make them think. When you hear just do it, do you think or do you just say Nike? That's so be clear, be really clear. I want you to stay focused. Don't get like rabbit trail. Don't be me, like you're having a conversation with me, because Lord knows you and I will have 10 conversations in one. But when it comes to your mission statement, stay focused. Focus on those key elements. What's the mission for your company? Where are you going? What are your goals and objectives? And then what are your values? So stay focused on those pieces and you'll do great. Do not be afraid to involve others. This is a so touchy one. When I tell you involve others, if you have a favorite client, somebody you work with all the time, if you have somebody super supportive that you trust, to be open and honest with you, those are the others we want to involve. We do not want to involve our negative Nelly that, like we all know that one person that nothing positive comes out of their mouth. Don't ask them. Do not get their input. Do not. If you do, I'm going to get involved. Don't ask him. I want you to involve people who are honest and open, but are positive people. If you involve somebody who always has that negative kind of overtone, you will not get anything good out of it. So avoid those people while we're working on our mission statement. If you want honest and candid feedback, holler. Oh my gosh, I will be your biggest fan, and I will support you in any way that I can. I think we still have like 4 or 5 spots still for a one-on-one. If you want to do that, let's do it. Let's brainstorm. Let's talk through it. Definitely involve people, because what you see as like your values, that may not be what they're picking up. They may be picking up that so honesty and integrity are big to me, but maybe they're picking up that that I'm personally vested in you, or they're not picking up what I'm trying to present. So that may be. So definitely you're not in it alone. You don't have to decide your mission statement all alone, but do bounce it off of one another. And this last one is like my favorite because I love words. If you come in my house, well, you can see kind of on my wall back there. I have signs everywhere because I love quotes and words. I'm just kind of a nerd. But use words that are they're radiant. Use words like, cheer, marvel, outrageous, empower, use those words that really like resonate with people. Don't just use your run of the mill, hey, I do accounting and I like it. That's not enough, Use those words that describe you. If you don't know, get out your thesaurus, because let me tell you, I have that flagged always, Um, my poor children grew up with, like, we were always learning new vocabulary and stuff. They love when they learn a new word, even now at 24 and 21, and they still do it. So use those words though that resonate, and um, just make people feel, because you want them to feel why you do what you do. Um, so some of the three that I picked that I think sometimes are overlooked but are really powerful mission statements. So Chevron, to be the global energy company most admired, one of those radiant words, for its people, partnership, and performance. Their core values, right? Chevron cares about their people, and who they partner with. They don't just, they don't speak to just everybody. They would, like I said, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. American Express. Um, so American Express is, we work hard every day to make American Express the world's most respected service brand. Again, that word respected, it's something that people really connect with, and that's leveraging it. And then IKEA was actually really, it's pretty simple, but it totally fits. I love IKEA, but it totally fits, like, if you go in the store, IKEA furniture and stuff. It says to create better everyday life for the many people. And it's so true, right? They have all price points, and it was pretty short, but it does fit IKEA, right? And it does fit, like, their, what you get. When I read that, I think about the simple lines, that they have in their stuff, and it totally fits. So, but again, these are all, they're very clear. They are very, directed and focused, but they all have that word, right? They all have a word. IKEA is probably the least vibrant of the three, but then again, IKEA is known for that simplicity, right? So kind of, why would you do a super robust, like marvelous, outrageous in their mission statement, when that's, they're about that simple everyday life, right? So it does make sure it connects. Again, it's a it's a process. It's a growth. It's always, there's always more out there. Um, like I said, and I would reference mine quite a bit, just because it's what I know, right? Um, but, like, ours is, again, I'm calling out small business. I am, saying what I do. I provide accounting and consulting and just support, right? My values are in there, the integrity and honesty, but then the ultimate goal is empowering small business to thrive. I'm hitting those three pieces over and over. If you guys Google as you're working on it, feel free to Google, like tips and tricks. One thing that I will say is, don't get too wordy. You don't need 3 paragraphs for your mission statement. You want it to be something that you can just pull and go, right? It's really, it's something that you should be able to remember and not have to just pull, you don't have to, like, sit and think, oh my gosh, what did I write? Because it's something that you're going to live every day, right? Every day you're in business, that's going to be that piece over you. Habitat for Humanity had it on their wall. I have it on my wall. Just like I said, some days I'm like, oh, why do I do this? And so I go back to that and kind of recenter. It's I don't know, it's good for my soul, so I assume it's good for everyone's. Like, so if you were to Google mission statement tips and tricks, the first thing you're gonna see, and it's so funny, is clear, concise, stay focused, all the things we've talked about, but They want you to think long term, of course, our goals, right? That's long term. But what I see like keeps repeating is don't be afraid to change it. It's going to change. And that's one thing I just want to make sure that you guys remember. You're not married to it. It's, you can change it. Um, it's one of those things that it does evolve. Think about like McDonald's and the evolution of theirs, or even our soda brands, like Dr. Pepper and Coke, they've been around forever. Think about how they've evolved. So McDonald's mission statement in 2013, it says McDonald's brand mission is to be our customers' favorite place and way to eat and drink. Our worldwide operations are aligned around a global strategy called the Plan to Win, which center on exceptional customer service, people, products, place, price, and promotion. So that was their mission statement in 2013. I tried and tried and tried, you guys, to find like a current one, and I couldn't find one. So, but like Starbucks is a great one, to nurture and inspire the human spirit, one person, one cup, one neighborhood at a time. Totally makes sense, right? And I love that. And, again, I told you I'd talk about Magic Johnson again. But with Starbucks, Magic Johnson took that Starbucks mentality, that mission statement, because of that mission statement, empowered him to say, listen, we're in the urban core. This is not what we're doing. Let me change it. And he's become one of the most successful franchise owners. We all know Nike's tagline, just do it. We all think about that. But their mission statement, their vision statement is actually to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And that, that does speak to Nike, because how many of you see, in other countries where, Nike's providing shoes for people who wouldn't have shoes, and, they really, really branch out. So it does, there's so much out there. There's so many resources, you guys. Morgan, if you want to flip to our next slide, I put a few resources for you guys. It's really crummy. I tried to get the hyperlink to not turn blue on my blue background. But so we can, but there is a slide on here that's resources, you guys, and there's a few links that you can go to. Yeah. So, and it just kind of gives you like the B plans one. I love. It's a free resource. B plans is kind of a business plan website too, but they have so many great examples. The HubSpot one, the top one. So HubSpot is a CRM software. I actually use it. So that's how I pulled it. But you just give them your email and they'll email it to you. And it's like 7 chapters. It's just a little ebook that they'll send you of really great information for how to do it. I'm going to pause because Kim has a question. She said, I love that you can do this, Morgan. That's amazing. We have what looks like an emergency logo on the truck, and our shirts say Caffeine and Cupcakes Response Team. You know what? It could be. I would say that's as much your sales, a sales pitch as anything. I love it. Lord knows I need caffeine and cupcakes every day. But it's, that's definitely, you could build off of that. Absolutely. Take that and build from that. Use that in your mission statement. So then you can just pull that bit out as you use it. So what happens, you guys, I'm going to try really hard to only be an hour because I don't want to like suck up your whole sound on me. But the beautiful part about your mission statement, and just like Kim had said, is that you can, so you take that piece and embed that into your mission statement, and you can pull that out for your sales. This mission statement, when this is in your head and you're practicing this every day, and you're using this, that's a great sales pitch, you guys. Kim has it, that Caffeine and Cupcake Response Team, huge sales pitch, huge. Because I can tell you right now, Kim, I would send your truck to every CPA firm during busy season, from January 30th ish, clear up to April 15th. I would send you to every big CPA firm in the city, because Mark Nelson, CBiz, Mize Hauser, they bring in trucks like that for their staff because they're working insane hours, right? You have it right there. Caffeine, cupcake, response team. Yeah, because they live off of that during that season. Or oh my gosh, your insurance guys during renewal season. Oh, and don't get me started on the Royals, guys. Many of you know my fiance is their chief engineer. During season, it's crazy. So, that caffeine, that's huge, huge. So you can leverage that, use that as your pitch. I am so funny. I always say I'm not a salesperson. I just like to talk about, tell our stories, right? So I'll tell you, I'm not a salesperson, but what I've learned is, I guess I kind of am. And this is because I tell my story. I tell about my mission statement, and that's sales, right? So it's, you do not be afraid to pull those bits out of your mission statement, to use them like this, or to put them into your mission statement like this. I would love, I want a shirt. I would totally wear it. But it definitely is a great start for your mission statement. It doesn't have, you guys, it's so funny because so many people are like, I'm not nonprofit, I don't need a mission statement. But you kind of do. You need to know why you do what you do, and that helps you leverage things. And definitely, you guys, I mean, if you want to share your mission statement, if you have one, drop it in. Let's collaborate. The more we all work together, the better we're all going to be. I have a couple groups that I participate in for that very thing. I literally was just talking to someone this morning. He was saying, gosh, I hate when I have to go on video. And he said, he's like, I stumble on my words and I don't feel good about it. And I said, listen, you just be you. People love you. Just be you. It's okay. We're all human. We all say something stupid, or, or have a dog bombard our video, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the big thing. Be present. So your mission statement doesn't have to start out perfect. Be present, do it, work on it, come back to it. Don't do it and stick it in a drawer. It will do you no good. No good. Do it and keep it present. Keep it out, because I promise you, the more you see it, the more you think through it, it's going to morph. And I'll be curious. I definitely want to check in with you guys over the coming weeks, because it's going to morph. And I want to do like a check-in. Maybe in 2 weeks or something, check in with all of you and see, hey, so how's it going? Has it changed? How many times has it changed? I'd just be really curious, because, none of us are born perfect, right? So it's, we got to grow and learn and stuff and evolve. And so I think that now's the time to be building this out, because so many of us are, so many folks are, kind of in a slower season, if you will, because of all the COVID junk. So it's really important. The other thing I'm going to tell you guys about this mission statement, the first thing, if you're applying for grants, which, remind me to come back to that, because I have, I think I shared it out with a few of you, but Visa just released a new grant for $50,000. So I want to make sure that I share that information with all of you. But if you're applying for grants, one of the first things that people, they ask, they want like your purpose and all of that. Here's your mission statement. It's already written. It's beautiful, right? You've put that time and energy into it. Drop it in. It does, if it's one that you're having to write, the formal letter or whatever, put that in the footer of your page. Just put that, Guardian Accounting mission statement at the bottom of your page. They eat it up. Again, you're showing what you're doing. You're showing your purpose. You're showing who you serve, your values, and your goals. So all of that comes back in. It's kind of snowballs and just keeps coming and coming. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys, that I share that out with you. And so I told you not to let me forget. So the Visa Anywhere released early last week, and there's like a sixth one that they allow now, and it's the funds disperse late summer, but it's a $50,000 grant for the top one. There was like 3, and it goes down to, I think 5,000 was the small one. So definitely, you guys go check it out. It's free money. I mean, yes, you have to show them, kind of what you're doing with it and stuff, but I really, really, really encourage you to check it out. Again, I will say it till I'm blue in the face that you don't have to be a nonprofit for grants. My fiance, he's actually looking at grants right now to build a ham radio tower out here, because there's, we're kind of rural and we kind of we get in a dip. And so a tower would be super helpful, even for our emergencies response crews here in town. And so, there's so many grants out there, so many opportunities. Don't be scared to look, and don't be scared to ask. This mission statement will elevate you in that stack of applicants. If you are, so think about it this way. There's 10 of us, right? So there's 10 applications. 1 has a mission statement. 9 others don't. If you just by human nature, who's going to look like they have it together more? The one with the mission statement, the one with the plan, the clear plan, all the things we continue to talk about, the budget, the forecast, that one is going to be at the top of their list versus the others. All right. Guess what, guys? We have our first mission statement sharing out. Kim said she's spitballing. Coffee Cake KC is your caffeine and cupcake response team. We're here to make you happier and serve you. We accept all and do not judge. Come, let us make you a cup of joy. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. The best part, you guys, we've been doing this for 53 minutes? What time is it? 50 minutes? Kim just did this, you guys. Seriously, because she's gone through those questions. She's asked, she's looking for, her customer base is people who need coffee and sweets. Me. I'm gonna, on my other screen, I'm gonna pull up my old slide. So her purpose, they want to give you joy. Who do you serve? People who need caffeine and sugar. People like me. Morgan said it earlier too. She said, I have not had enough coffee yet. You can go back one more. There you go. You didn't have to do that, Morgan. Thank you. The nature of her products, coffee, sweets, perfect. Her values, they're accepting you and they're not going to judge you. So that is absolutely incredible. I cannot believe you just like that. That's amazing. This is going to be the meat to your mission statement. You may tweak it over the coming weeks, but I bet you the core of it stays this way because it's in your heart, right? You guys know me. I'm kind of big on feelings, but it's in your heart. That's what's driving you, right? That's why you get up. And that image she's conveying, that emergency response, but we care about you. I think that's incredible, Kim. I cannot believe you did it that fast. I am envious. I think you guys, I really do. I think I spent my first day working on it. I know I spent a few hours because I was just like, and we know I like to talk. So I have a lot to say. And I had to, pare it down, and that was hard for me. So that's incredible, Kim. Does anybody else have one out here they want to add? Spitballing's good, you guys. It's why we're here. Feel free. Let's brainstorm. Hell, we can get on a Zoom call if you want to. Or we can do this. Whatever. Let's just jump in there. Judgment-free zone. There's no stupid questions. But you do, just having somebody to bounce things off of is huge, huge. Kim, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm not saying it because I need more coffee this morning. I'm saying it's good. Um, and it, again, it goes back to she's tied in, you guys. She's tied in what's on her shirts. So when people see that logo around the city, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's Kim. We need her." Um, when things open back up, and you guys just being on here and you guys see that now, you're gonna think about, "Oh, you know what? I remember. I can ask for whatever I want. They're not gonna get salty at me or be like, dang girl, maybe you should go low fat. They're not going to do that. So but that's that mission statement. That's that piece that's going to give her that edge, right? That's the difference between Kim and the competitors. She said she always needs coffee. Same. I always. Um, I didn't want to have my giant coffee cup that takes up like half my head down here. So that's why I have just water today. But same. Um, so does anybody have any questions? I definitely want to make sure that I'm here and available to answer questions. You guys, seriously, if you have questions, if you want to just one-on-one, let Morgan know. Let's get together. If any of you are going to go through any of the courses at the library, and you just want somebody to go through it, so you're not like, sometimes I get more out of stuff when I do it with somebody else than if I go by myself, because not only do am I thinking of questions, but they're asking questions, and it's somebody you can bounce stuff off of. I'll jump in with you. Let's do it. Let's work together. Morgan just added those resources here, you guys, so you can click on those links. The email address for the one-on-one, you're going to do mperry@mymcpl.org. It's Morgan's email. She'll pop it up in here. There you go. Ta-da! She'll make sure that we get connected. You guys, seriously, I know it sounds crazy, but we're all learning every day and we're improving. So let's do it. Let's spitball. Let's go through it together. I was telling you guys, grab a piece of paper. You see in the background, I have notebooks. I have a stack of them because I'm always writing stuff down. One thing I do want to remind all of you, there's a survey at the end of this. Please, please, please complete our survey. It's really important because this is what helps get the funding for them to give you guys this great service and not charge you. And that's so important. The Ewing Miriam Kaufman Foundation they're the funders for this program, and this program's amazing. I've learned so much. I mean, I have Canva now because of the programs. Please, please, please fill out the survey. We want to continue to do this, and anything I can do for any of you, please let me know. It means a lot to me. Kim, thank you. Kim said always good info. I'm biased, you guys, because she gives coffee. So how do you not love coffee? But if you think of something, so I do want to, I'm a digester. Like, I have to think through stuff. I'm not the wittiest, quickest person ever. My family is upstairs. I always think of a comeback later. So as you think through this, if you think of something after, ping me, reach out to me, reach out to Morgan, and Lene, thank you. Last week was good. I love budgets and forecasts. But you guys, seriously, ping me, reach out to Morgan. She'll put you in touch with me. If you think of something that, after the fact, you're like, let's talk about this. I'm here. I office from home, so I'm always around. I will get, reach out. Don't feel bad about it. Don't be like, it might be dumb. Again, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. But if you think of something after the fact, holler at me. Let's get you the resource or an answer. And like I said, if I don't know the answer, I will find it for you. I have people. I mean, if it's a tax question, I'll put you in touch with somebody who does tax. But otherwise, let's just keep the dialogue open. If you have questions, ask. I swear we don't learn by not asking. So, and again, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, like I said, that's why I hired a business coach. And so I'm like, I can do this part all day. I can help people all day long, but I'm like, I don't know how to market. I don't know how to do these things. So that's why I hired him. We don't know what you don't know. So definitely, you guys, we're in it together. We're going to come out ahead of all of this and then some. I firmly believe that. I think we're going to do some really great things with this group. Does anybody have any other questions? I know we're right at an hour. I don't want to go on a tangent because we know I can, and then you'll be here all day. So, and Milkshake the Pomeranian won't like it, you guys. She'll be ready for her snacks. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Please, please, please fill out the survey. That's so important for the library funding. It's so big. Please, if you guys have, and I told you I just talk. If there's something specifically that you guys want to see, Morgan and I are working through our program and just making sure we go through the important steps. But if there's something that's really like, man, I really need to know about this, let Morgan know. Please, please shoot her an email and let her know, because as we're building this program out, I want to make sure that I'm serving you guys and giving you useful information and not like, oh, Stephanie's yapping again, I don't want to listen. So I want to make sure that it stays relevant and stuff that suits you guys as well. So do please, if there's something that's just like, hey, I really want to work on this, let Morgan know and we'll work it in. Okay, you guys, I think that's it. Happy Saturday. I think it's supposed to warm up and not be so crappy outside. So if you guys reach out, I'm here, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.